Oh yes, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions News. It's your hump day of the news. It's Wednesday, the 10th of April 2019. It's also back issues 2 upload day, so we're looking forward to that later on. But without further ado, let's jump into the news. Our first story begins with a Tier 5 class catalyst offer. If you remember a little while ago, we kept talking about this and the fact that it was removed. It was then a case that people weren't getting their stuff, their units, but it does seem at the moment we are not getting that offer return. People are still chomping at the bit for that Tier 5 class catalyst offer to try and see if they make further progression with their roster, especially going into the 6 stars, going into rank 3 and further. At the moment, it's still very much unknown whether or not this offer will actually make a return, and I hope for the people that really want to get it that it does come back very shortly, but this all falls on Kabam to make that decision. On to our next news, and it seems that Kabam are making a second stab at trying to get Marvel Contest of Champions over to China. Now, if I remember rightly, they tried this before, especially putting in a gearing system, which tried to come over here somewhat. There was rumors that it would come over here to ours. But the fact is, I don't think that's going to be a thing. I don't know whether or not Kabam are going to roll out the same thing that they did last time, and also have things like Auto Fighting Arena. We'd love that, wouldn't we? Auto Fighting Arena, but that is a good money maker. So I doubt that will ever come into our particular version. Either way, something that was quite interesting that came about is, and again, this is just speculation. It could be, rumor. It could be false. It could be true that Kabam made a lot of money on Cyber Monday. In fact, $3.3 million. So that's pretty impressive. Now, the only platform that will be available will be something for Android, so it will be interesting to see what happens. This will be next month when the game launches in China, and I don't know if this is don't kind of quote me on this, but I think this is a relaunch, because I think that the game was there before. They killed off the servers and then decided that, well, whatever reason, they're going to try again. But I think with the clout of Netmarble, this will be seen as more of a bigger push and maybe a better push than it was before. Either way, I'm sure that we'll have lots of interesting gameplay and footage being shown to people that will give you an idea whether or not there's any differences. But it's kind of weird that it'll be only on Android, but I do see that as more of a stronger sell, especially considering that in China, companies like Huawei are incredibly popular. It's the go-to phone. So yeah, let's see how this transpires. Next up, and we've had the second chapter on the Marvel Contest of Champions Fantastic Four saga thing in The Living Death Who Walks. This is the Annihilus thing, and also at the same time, it's the Human Torch thing. And there's a thing in the thing. But basically, it just kind of charts the whole kind of story processes, where we were before, where we are now, the whole kind of thing about Fantastic Four being there, and then all of them being scattered to different zones of the world, the battle realm. So it's kind of cool learning this. So if you do want to find out more, go to the link in the description. It'll take you to the video and you get to understand a little bit more about the character creation and where the stories have come from and where they're going. Next up, and I want to touch on a story that I talked about on Monday, but completely missed the point. In a discussion with somebody on Twitter, it made me realize that the energy spend this month is way too high. But too high for uncollected. This is ridiculously high, based on the fact that most months are seen to be a lot less. I completely missed this point on Monday, so my apologies for not grasping this, but it is very much too high for uncollected. Especially if you compare it to this, and also the fact that this is a shorter month. And as well, we have bounty missions on at the moment, which does cost you energy. Not a huge amount, but still enough to make you think, right, well, I'm gonna have to spend a lot more of energy refills in order to get through a lot of the content. I think at times Kabam really needs to take note on what they're putting out to the extent of energy spend, and also look at other content in the game, especially considering this is a very short month. But what are your thoughts on this? Have your say in the comments section below. Next up, and we're over to Marvel Insider. First of all, for a code, a special code, a Cloak and Dagger code. If you want 10k Marvel Insider points, then the code is CD2019. That's C for Charlie, D for Delta, 2019. CD2019. That'll get you the code for 10,000 points. Not forgetting a Human Torch is available, and also you can get plenty of points. I suspect with the endgame stuff coming very soon, there may be a lot more that's going on for this particular event for the game, so look out for it. Next up, and I've got to recommend this video. It's a funny little video that Brian put together. A lot of effort went into this, and some great camera work, by the way. Whatever camera is being used, it's absolutely fantastic. This kind of charts his efforts and as well unfortunate side of things, and his descent into madness, with the whole story of Nick Fury being nerfed. And I use that term lightly because I usually use the word nuggeted, so don't get triggered. There, Brian. There. Next up, it looks like that Alliance War Season 9 has been delayed. For a lot of players, they will probably be pretty happy with this. It's nice to get an extended break from Alliance War Seasons. I'm not saying there's anything bad about it, it's just nice to have an extended break away from this, just so people can chill out a little bit more, and especially with Avengers Endgame coming up, this event being about 20 days in total, the fact that we may have dungeons back at some stage. Kabam seem to be tinkering around with the game, so the update's not as good as it should be, and there's a lot of lag spikes, there's other optimization problems, bounty missions as well. It just seems that this is a good point just to kind of go, let's calm the brakes, sort the game out, get back into what's actually good about it. And those are the things that I think a lot of players would agree with. There'll be some that'll be like, well, I don't really agree with this, but it does seem like it's a good move by Kabam, so hey, good move. I know, it feels weird to say that. Oh, and also Back Issues 2, which goes live today, so is that delayed? The answer is no, that's on schedule, that's on time. Next up, and it looks like we've got featured Cavalier crystals. Yes, the time is upon us where we get featured Cavalier crystals, and isn't it great to see such amazing pulls? For some people got trash. So yes, when you spend, for me, £50, you have to consider whether or not it's going to be good or it's going to be bad, and you just don't know whether or not that is worth spending. Some people got some decent stuff, and as you can see, like great 6 stars they've been pulling, great 5 stars, average, or redundant 4 stars, it seems to be at the moment. But the fact is, yes, this is a new thing, and it's a little bit scary, but at the same time, good luck if you're going for these things. Oh, and just to point out, these were available for a limited time only to people. Next time, you have to have the Cavalier status in order to gain from these things. So, yeah, I wonder when we get featured Cavalier crystals in the actual crystal store, how much they're actually going to be, unless they're going to be just very much for the purpose of early access, like these bundles here. And on to our final story, the new arena. As you know, tomorrow we've got a new arena with, well, Spider-Man. Bit odd, but whatever. Basic is going to be Symbiote Supreme, so that's pretty cool. I'm going with a prediction for the 5-star Spider-Man at 19 mil, which is a little bit lower than normal, but still enough that people will go, maybe I'll go for this. It could be a case that the champion will end up going for something like 25 mil, but I think 19 mil is going to be acceptable. I think people may kind of will avoid the arena over this weekend, so that could be a thing. 4-star, 5.2 mil, I think that's pretty much acceptable for a Spider-Man at 4-star for the featured, because it's just over the final milestone, so 5.2 mil I think is going to be enough, but it could be one of those champions that just goes a little bit lower than that, just a tiny bit. And then for the basic 4-star, I'm going for 3.1 mil. However, though, I feel the champion will end up being got for people at around about 2.9 mil. It's just the case, it is a popular champion, so people may go for it, may go ham, may go for 3.1 mil. But do bear in mind that if you want to feel safe, you probably do a bit more, but 3.1 mil is what I'm going for. So that's been your Marvel Contest of Champions news for the 10th of April 2019. I shall see you later for the live stream. And make sure to like, share and subscribe, and have your say in the comment section below of any of the stories that we discussed today in the news. And also, if you could support me as a creator by hitting the join button, that would be amazing. But in any case, thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.